Greetings, stranger. I am the Wanderer. I collect stories that no longer have owners. This one comes from the banks of the Rhine, from a time when kingdoms rose and fell on the strength of a single sword arm. It is a story that begins with a dream and ends with fire and blood and the death of everyone you are about to meet. But I am getting ahead of myself. Before there was a hero, there was a princess. Before there was a tragedy, there was a warning. And before there was a kingdom in ruins, there was a morning in Burgundy when a young woman woke with tears on her face and could not say why. Her name was Kriemhild, and she had dreamed of a falcon. In those days, the kingdom of Burgundy was ruled from Worms, a city that sat upon the Rhine like a crown upon a brow. It was a place of power and beauty, of warriors and poets, of feasting halls that rang with laughter and armories that gleamed with steel. 3 brothers held the throne together. Gunther, the eldest, wore the crown, a capable king, shrewd in politics, careful in war. Gernot, the middle brother, was the peacemaker, the one who smoothed troubled waters with soft words and steady hands. And Giselair, the youngest, still carried the brightness of youth, untested by true darkness, beloved by all. They had one sister, Kriemhild. She was beautiful. The songs all say so, and for once the songs do not lie. But beauty is common enough among princesses. What set Kriemhild apart was something harder to name, a quality of stillness, a depth in her eyes that suggested she saw things others missed. And she did, though she did not yet know it. Surrounding this royal family was a court of warriors whose names would echo through the ages. Hagen of Tronek, the shadow behind the throne, whose counsel was as sharp as his blade. Volker of Altsy, who played the fiddle as beautifully as he wielded a sword. Dankwart, Ortwin, and a dozen others, men who had made Burgundy feared and respected across all the German lands. This was the world Kriemhild was born into, a world of strength and splendor, a world that seemed, to those who lived in it, as permanent as the mountains. It was not. Kriemhild woke before dawn. The dream was already fading, slipping away like water through fingers, but the feeling remained, a heaviness in her chest, a grief without a name. She lay in the darkness of her chamber and tried to hold on to the images. A falcon. She had raised a falcon. In the dream, she had trained it herself, nursed it from a wild thing into something that trusted her, that came to her hand, that knew her voice. It was beautiful, strong and fair and fierce, and she had loved it with a love that surprised her even in the dream. And then the eagles came, 2 of them descending from a sky that had turned the color of blood. She had watched, frozen, as they fell upon her falcon. She had screamed, but no sound came out. She had reached for it, but her arms would not move. They tore it apart before her eyes. Kriemhild pressed her hands to her face. The tears were real. She could feel them, warm and wet against her palms, crying for a bird that did not exist, crying for a loss she had not yet suffered. She rose from her bed and went to find her mother. Queen Uta was already awake, as mothers often are when their children are troubled. She sat by the window of her solar, watching the first gray light creep across the Rhine, and she turned when Kriemhild entered as if she had been expecting her. "You dreamed," Uta said. It was not a question. Kriemhild nodded. She crossed the room and knelt at her mother's feet, feeling suddenly young, suddenly small. "Tell me." And so Kriemhild told her, the falcon, the training, the love, the eagles, the blood. Uta was silent for a long moment. When she spoke, her voice was gentle but grave. "The falcon is a man, a noble man, one you will love." Kriemhild looked up. "And the eagles?" "Those who will take him from you." The words settled between them like stones dropped into still water. Kriemhild felt the ripples spreading outward, touching everything. "Then I will never love," she said. The words came quickly, fiercely. "If love leads to such loss, I will do without it. I will remain as I am. I will never give anyone the power to break me." Uta reached down and touched her daughter's face. Her eyes were sad. "Do not swear such oaths, my child. The heart does not listen to reason. It wants what it wants, and it goes where it will." She paused. "If God grants you a worthy man, you will love him. You will not be able to help it, and you will be glad of it, even knowing the cost. I would rather be safe than glad. No one is safe. Not kings, not warriors, not maidens who hide in towers." Uta's thumb traced the line of Kriemhild's cheek, wiping away a tear she had not realized she was shedding. "The only choice we have is whether to live fully or to live in fear, and a life lived in fear is not truly a life at all." Kriemhild said nothing, but in her heart she made a vow. She would not love. She would not give hostages to fortune. She would remain untouched, untouchable, safe in her solitude. She was 17 years old. She did not yet understand that the universe has a sense of humor about such vows. Days passed, weeks, seasons turned. Kriemhild kept her vow. Suitors came to Worms, princes and warriors from distant lands, drawn by tales of her beauty, and she received them with courtesy and distance. She smiled, but her smiles gave nothing away. She spoke, but her words revealed nothing of her heart. Her brothers watched with a mixture of amusement and concern. "She will come around," Gunther said, at a feast where yet another hopeful lord had been politely but firmly refused. "She is young. She does not yet know what she wants." "She knows exactly what she wants," Jerno replied. "She wants to be left alone. I have never seen anyone so determined to remain untouched by life." Giselair, the youngest, said nothing, but he watched his sister across the crowded hall, and there was worry in his eyes. He loved Kriemhild. He did not like to see her building walls around herself, brick by brick, day by day. Hagen, standing in the shadows as he always did, watched as well. His thoughts, as always, remained his own. And so the years passed in Burgundy. The kingdom prospered, the brothers ruled wisely, the warriors trained and feasted and grew old in their king's service. And Kriemhild remained in her tower, beautiful and remote, untouched by love, untouched by life, waiting, though she did not know it, for a Falcon to come. Far to the north, in a kingdom called Santen, a young prince was growing restless. His name was Siegfried. He had killed a dragon and bathed in its blood. He had claimed the treasure of the Nibelungs and defeated armies single-handed. He had done everything a hero could do, and he was bored. And then he heard a story, a rumor, a whisper that traveled from court to court until it reached his ears. There was a princess in Burgundy, the most beautiful woman in all the German lands, untouchable, unreachable, the one prize that no man had been able to claim. Siegfried smiled when he heard this. He had never met a challenge he could not overcome. He had never wanted anything he could not take. He began to prepare for a journey. In Worms, Kriemhild slept peacefully, dreamless for once, unaware that her falcon was already sharpening his talons. The old songs say that fate cannot be escaped, that what is written will come to pass, no matter how we struggle against it. Kriemhild swore she would never love. Siegfried swore he would win her. The eagles, though neither knew their names yet, were already circling. This is how tragedies begin, not with villains and heroes, but with ordinary people making ordinary choices, each one a step closer to the edge of a cliff they cannot see. Kriemhild dreamed of a falcon. The falcon was already on his way. But that is a story for another night. I am the wanderer, and I will see you in the void.